I'm going to tell you exactly how I changed the way I talk to myself. Because for most of my life, I genuinely hated myself. Like, quite literally, hated myself. I talked down to myself constantly. I made self-deprecating jokes in conversation. I apologized for existing. I apologized when someone else did something to me. I was seriously constantly sorry. I'm not exaggerating. If someone bumped into me, I'd say I'm sorry. If someone hurt me, I'd say I'm sorry. If I took up space, I'd say I'm sorry. It was automatic, and it was really quite annoying, especially for the people around me. And then here's what I realized. The way that I spoke about myself out loud was reinforcing the way I felt about myself. So I did something that felt really awkward at first. Every single time I said something negative about myself, I corrected it immediately. Out loud. If I said, God, I'm so stupid, I would literally stop mid-sentence and say, no, wait, Chelsea, you're not stupid. That's not true. And yes, I did this in conversation. Yes, I did it in front of people. Yes, it was definitely embarrassing. But I did it anyway. I started using my own name, like in third person. I would correct myself like I was defending someone else. Because I realized something. If someone talked about anybody else at all the way that I talked about myself, I would shut it down immediately. I literally started treating myself like I would treat my 4-year-old child, who is not 4 anymore, but she was at one point. So I started shutting it down for me, and I did it every single time. Every time, no exceptions. Same thing with apologizing. I apologized constantly for everything, so I made a rule. Every time I said sorry or I'm sorry when I didn't actually do anything wrong, I followed it with, no, I'm not sorry, or sorry, not sorry, and I meant it. I forced my mouth to override the pattern. At first it was really clunky, but I kept doing it over and over and over again for about 6 months. And one day, it just stopped. The negative self-talk disappeared. The automatic apologizing disappeared. I just happened to notice one day that I wasn't doing it anymore. And I didn't manifest confidence. I interrupted the script out loud. It's like rewiring your brain in real time. Here's why it works. Thoughts feel powerful when they stay in your head, but when you speak them out loud, they become tangible. And when you correct them out loud, your brain registers that correction. You're not just thinking differently, you're issuing a directive. You're teaching your nervous system a new default, and the third person thing is really quite important. Because when I said, Chelsea, you're not stupid, I wasn't arguing with myself. I was protecting myself, and it was coming from a voice outside of myself, even though it was myself. I was basically tricking my own brain in a way, if you think about it, right? So that shift changed everything. I stopped treating myself like an enemy. I started treating myself like someone I was responsible for. And over time, the self-loathing didn't just quiet down, it just literally completely dissolved. And not because I forced some kind of positivity, but because I refused to rehearse self-rejection anymore. If you struggle with hating yourself, I'm not going to tell you to just love yourself. Really? Let's be real. That is so not helpful. Yeah, obviously that's the idea, but it's just doesn't work that way, right? It's just not that easy. But you can start by not verbally attacking yourself. If you do that, of course. Interrupt the script, correct it out loud, really that matters. Do it every time, no exceptions. It'll take you a minute to catch on. Like, you're not going to get it every time when you first start, but you'll get there. And eventually you will be doing it every single time without even thinking about it until you're not having to do it at all anymore. Like I said, it took about 6 months of being relentless with it. And it was probably at least 75%, if not more, of how I went from self-loathing to self-love. You don't have to believe new things about yourself overnight. And I mean, let's be realistic. That's not even really a thing. Like, who can do that? I don't know. Yeah, no. Especially if you have a lifetime of believing something else, right? You can't just override it and force yourself into a new belief just because you know that you should or whatever it is, right? But you can stop rehearsing the old ones, and that is where it starts.